We are here on the Ascension Forecast to share with you our insights on the energetic frequencies that we've been experiencing. So we took a break for 2 weeks because we had some pretty big energies coming in. And sometimes it's more important for us to deal with the planetary shift than it is to be on live on YouTube. So sorry for that, but we're back today to share some of the stuff that we've learned anyway, so you won't miss out on anything. So if you're ready to take time and look into your future and to think about being part of the collective that want to have a vision for New Earth and maybe stuck, might not know how they want to get there, might want help transitioning from a 3D leader into a 5D leader, then join us and see what we have to share today. And if you're particularly interested in what we're sharing, we have a mastermind at the end of this session, because this is only 30 minutes that you can join us with. And we'll be posting out special invitations for people to join us on that. So watch out for those. So we're going to start it in a few minutes. So we're just going to check everything's set up. Yeah, I think that's working there. So I'm going to hand over to Alicia for the moment.
Beautiful. Well, welcome, beautiful souls, to the Galactic Sisters Ascension Energy Forecast. We're excited to be here back with you today. And if you're connecting with us for the first time, my name is Alicia with my mom, Eva, and we are co-creatrixes of Christine Ascension with our Galactic sister, Trudy, White Star Soul Guidance. And if you're catching the live on YouTube or here on the Zoom with us, please do say hello. And we invite you to share your New Earth mission in the comments or in the chat as well. I see here, Jill, hello, lovelies. Apologies, I'm just finishing eating dinner, so we'll keep my camera off. Sounds good. Yep, we can have your camera come back on after the live stream ends there for you. And again, a warm welcome to those who are watching the replay. Do hashtag replay so that way we can circle back around later on to say hello to you as well. We invite you to join us on our Ascension Energy Forecast, as we're going to be sharing the quantum 5D ingredients available so you can connect to these energies and embody them. Just try them on for size type thing. And then we're going to discuss the priority of the 5D soul lesson of the week, the challenge we are facing, and the strengths that we can draw on. So we're facilitating this to accelerate the ascension path for those interested in being a New Earth thought leader or a New Earth legacy builder.
Excellent, thank you. So the main soul lesson that we've had this week is really about how to become a new human. And when I say this, I'm looking at it from a much higher perspective, because all we've been getting over the last few weeks or even months even has been ingredients, but very earth-based ingredients. So the priority has been kind of looking at what subatomic, and I have problems saying this, what subatomic elements there are for us to become more human so that we can hold more of our multidimensional soul. And given that we're normally galactic sisters working with the cosmic realms, bringing in new frequencies, new codes, and new downloads, it's been quite interesting to see this much more organic flow to what we've been doing recently. So how do we become a new human? So this is about learning how to step through the process of evolution, the physical evolution needed to make our soul feel comfortable in our body. We're not just talking about having more higher insights, but actually having the soul feel comfortable so we can enjoy our body, enjoy the planet. Because I'm sure many of us are having ascension symptoms and other physical ailments as time is going on. So it's quite interesting now that it feels like after perhaps the last 2 years where the cosmic energy has been coming down, 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 we're now starting to get support, Gaia and organic templates and technologies coming up to support us. So some of the examples of this, just to give you a quick recap of what we've been talking about before, are the iron templates that we put in place, which was working with the magnetic fields of the planet and also which impacts our physical magnetic fields. We asked a couple of weeks ago, and people were noticing they were having bone issues and bad backs. So we had this kind of feeling that we had to start clearing vows and contracts out of our bones. Last week, while we were away, we were working on Mother Spider energies. And this was a kind of web that was operating on the planet for creating life, this divine creation kind of process. But it felt trapped, and it was kind of tied into scarcity consciousness, because what the web was doing was only utilizing the organic elements and templates that were within the planet. And Ava realized that it needed to go back up into the comet's tail. So now we've got this these creatrix spiders, these mother spiders weaving from the comet, which meant it has access to much more elements and atomic and subatomic elements as it flows around our universe, which is kind of quite exciting to see what that does. So I kind of saw it like, you know, instead of shopping at our corner store, we've now got this amazing new expanded food hall that they're using to draw on all these ingredients to support us in our evolution. So allowing for the fact that new human is this ability to hold on to more of our soul in a very comfortable way, the question that came to me was, does my body hurt because I'm not spiritual enough? Or does my body hurt because I'm too spiritual? And this is kind of like a bit of a reframing. So I'll just let that one play with you guys. So if you're there in the comments, does your body hurt because you're not spiritual enough? Or does your body hurt because you're too spiritual? And when I say too spiritual, I'm talking about not just your spiritual beliefs and practices, but we can also think of it as your starseed origins, your cosmic origins, your connection to still being that being of light. It could be your multidimensional aspects. And it kind of leads us into, well, who are we and what are we here on Earth doing? Now, we know that many starseeds are back at this time, and we're often acting as conduits for the planet, as pillars to bring that energy down through our bodies and into the planet. And being too spiritual for me would represent people doing that role, because that is still their main soul purpose from a long time ago. And they're still doing it, hence the body is struggling with that, versus being somebody who is more earthbound and not doing that kind of cosmic work. So I invite you to share in the comments now, do you feel that kind of connection to being some sort of planetary grid worker, bringing energy through your body and then feeling the physical pain of that, so that you become sensitive to what's going on the planet? So for me, I feel like a barometer. So when we had the iron templates coming in, I had anemia. When the bone issue came in, I was feeling that my bones needed more support and more calcium. So it comes through like my body is this extension of the planet, and it feels what the planet's feeling as an illness in my body. And that was quite interesting to us. So Alicia, how does that show up for you?
I was thinking about that, and I feel that I used to do a lot of times the transmuting through my body, and used to feel that kind of like that emotional transmutation of Mother Gaia and the cosmic. But I do feel also when there's new light that's coming in that needs to be anchored in, that will come in through my headaches or come in through some little bit of body pain, and to upgrade the architecture within me for it to actually not just stop in one place of my body, to actually allow it to flow through. So definitely that's how I feel that my body's more like that vessel, and I can experience on a physical level of how the energy is going to come in through the body and how it's going to feel inside the body, if that makes sense.
And do you feel that that's for your own personal gain, or do you feel it's more of a Gaian kind of gain?
Both. Definitely feeling it for the collective, to let me know what's going on in the collective field, or what's going on in Gaia, how she's feeling, and also on my own personal journey as well, for my ascension journey there too.
Cool. And Ava?
Oh, wait, we have Jill. Yes, from being too spiritual. So interesting. I had things coming through my bones recently, and more recently about difficulties with creativity. I thought it was just my home's energy, which I'm currently working on, but now I can feel it's more than that. Yeah, perfect. So I feel like it could be both, but I feel more of a degree of being a transmuter of light for the planet more powerfully, because I'm a visionary. So I could see it more than I can feel it. Of course, there's times where I will feel it. I feel it basically in the womb area. That's where I feel it the most. But as being a visionary, I see it more and I hear it more. So I feel that the sound frequencies, or I feel the sound frequencies in my ears, or recently animals have been coming to me off the planet. So I'm beginning to really connect more on a planetary level.
So it's quite interesting. As I like asking questions, as you'll probably all work out. So that was a question that came to me as I was thinking about today, is because when I was doing, I've got lots of physical ailments and I have for a long time, yet the more spiritual work I do, then the more my physical ailments seem to manifest. And despite the efforts to try and get my human body to process it, I started to realize that maybe the reason why medicine can't find anything wrong with me is because I have that sort of more cosmic nature, cosmic memories, cosmic templates, however you want to call it, but that sort of structure within my body that isn't quite fully aligned with the planet. And I think there's quite a few of us that have come ahead of time to be here, because it's almost like we were the prototype to come down and see how compatible our bodies were with the planet and what we needed to do to change the planet, to give the upgrades, to transmute the energy, what human evolution that we needed to activate within the human body so that we could become comfortable. And then once we've worked that out, we can then share it with others. So it's quite an interesting angle to look at. And I think a lot of the new Earth pioneers and visionaries and thought leaders are here doing this work, which is why it's really important what we're going to share about our strength this week. So let's move on to the challenge of this. So imagine now that we're going through this re-engineering process, that we're trying to upgrade our body so our soul feels more comfortable. And we're working on almost like a foreign entity in terms of our bodies are not like native to this planet, even though I know they are, but just let's play the game of it's not quite native. So we're trying to fit in and trying to adjust and to move that energy in the best way we can. Well, unfortunately, it's going to cause a lot of change and a lot of rapid changes too. And this is where we have to be more aware of balancing our human needs as well as our spiritual, because it's no good our spirituality kind of lifting up and taking off into space if our human bodies can't keep up with it. So the sort of things that we can expect to see as challenges through this process will be your mind and heart balance. Our human mind is very ego, wound. It's kind of the gatekeeper to your wounds and always protecting you from the wounds. It's all giving you the bad chatter, the negative critic. And we're being asked to connect to the heart, which is much more related to the soul and our higher self. So that if we can connect into the heart, we can discern the truth more easily. But it is going to be a struggle with these re-engineerings because we're going into uncharted territory and we're being asked to believe and to trust that we're evolving on a cellular level and to believe that this is the right way to do it when there's nothing written to guide us through this. So I was getting a lot of messages this week about how attached we are to our identities, our thoughts and our beliefs, because if we are very attached to any of these and they're part of our infrastructure and they're all collapsing because of this new evolution, we're going to start feeling it in our nervous system. We're going to start feeling really out of sorts, as if we're not already out of sorts with all this going on, but even more so. So it's going to impact our nervous system. Our nervous system is that, as well as being like our fight or flight response on this planet, it also tells our soul how safe it is for our soul to be here. So the nervous system is going to be having a bit of a beating. So if you guys are new Earth leaders, then I recommend you try and build in some nervous system modalities or processes into whatever you do, whatever work you're doing, whether it's NLP, whether it's Reiki, whatever mode you're doing, even if you're just a counselor, then really start focusing on the nervous system to help people learn new ways to calm a nervous system that's going through evolution. We've also been getting the ascension particle, so that's like atomic level changes to integrate into the body. We've been getting new life force dragons, another energy to learn how to integrate, and this is a very it's new energy. So again, we have to learn how to weave it into our bodies, how to get it to create that evolutional trigger within our bodies. It's also going to ask us to start valuing ourselves differently, because if we are this hybrid, a lot of our past spiritual texts have emphasized how being a hybrid was a bad thing. So we have to overcome that hybridness, that if we're going to be this human starseed, new Earth leader, if we're really going to integrate and be heaven on earth, then we have to start preparing for being a hybrid and adjusting how valuable that is, rather than being, anything that's mixed is often devalued instantly. So we have to start working on that. And that will help us discern the right path for us. So, yep, lots of stepping into the unknown and reintroducing ourselves to our family, our friends, and our universe on a regular basis as the new human, like version 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, constantly kind of re-evaluating your new boundaries, your values, your desires, and then presenting them back to the universe and your friends and family so that everybody sees that you are changing and that you're not the same person, because, you know, we're evolving, but we have to take other people with us and we have to fit in. So which of those sort of those challenges are showing up for you, Alicia?
For myself, I would have to mainly say the re-engineering of my human self for surely, as I feel as though that I'm creating architecture within myself on a daily basis. It hasn't become just when I feel I need it. It's like a daily basis type thing of just any of the energy that I'm sensing into and seeing if there's anything that needs to flow through and come more and be anchored more within me. And then that way it's creating that more of that graceful human experience as I evolve and as I ascend. And it also relates back to all those previous downloads of architecture, engineering, or that subatomic level type speaking language that I never understood. It's making more sense now, finally, and it's creating that deeper understanding of why it's so important for me to remember this as we kind of facilitate this within my own body as well as within others, if that is making sense then.
Mm. Yeah, no, definitely. It's we've always tried to heal the body to help it become more soulful or help it become more higher vibrating. But this is now really focusing on the opposite, like what do we need to physically change in our bodies to hold more of our soul? It's that engineering aspect. So we've been given lots of clues. And I guess we had to bring in the particles before we could bring in the great plan that went with it. So that's what's been happening. And this is why discerning and trusting is so important. You know, we didn't know where the ascension particle was on the lead. We didn't understand why the dragons were integrating stardust and earth together and what they were doing. But we facilitated it. And then we're sitting here kind of going, and now they're giving us the plan of how it all fits together. It's like, okay, now I understand. So Ava, how about you?
I would say that the most challenging, I agree, is the re-engineering of who I am and reintroducing myself into the universe, because I feel like the unknown is basically when we're going into our soul journeys with the ascension particles, right? And we're going through all the new life forces and we're, you know, architecturing them, we're creating them, we're weaving them in. That's all in the ethers. But to bring it down into Gaia and into our lives on a daily basis, that's where I feel the most challenging. But like, it's like like my mind, you know, during the day, during the night, it's actually creating the geometries, creating the weaving and whatnot. But I still feel like the challenge is the 3D here.
Because you are the earth weaver, the Gaian weaver. So for you, you're more aware of how the earth has to be upgraded to support the human that's upgraded to support the soul that's expanding. It's like multidimensional, as we always keep saying, you know, it's that multiple layers. And it can be easy to confuse the strands sometimes. You know, you get a message and you think, oh, this means we have to do this on the human body. And sometimes it's not the human body, it's an earth grid or an earth template that needs upgrading. So yeah, these are going to be the challenges, is like navigating these messages and discerning which is right and learning new techniques. And it's going to be trial and error. And the only way you're going to know if you got it right is by how it feels. That's the only guide we got. Our emotional system and our gut is going to be our GPS through all of this. If it feels good, then you've done it. If it doesn't feel good, then keep going at it. So how does that sound to everyone? Has anybody been struggling with any of these challenges themselves? If you want to type something into the comments.
We have a few of people, our beautiful souls on YouTube. So I was just reading them before and commenting to them. So I was just thinking about you ladies, lo and behold. Another one, Love says hi. Trudy says hello.
Say, that's not me. There's another Trudy. No, I'm Trudy with a Y. We don't see many Trudys with a Y.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so the strength, which is, you know, this is just a quick summary of some of the challenges. We haven't got time to go into all of them in detail, but, you know, if you're struggling with any of those and you know where we are, you can always come and find us. But the strength that we have is the Emerald Order. Now, this is not my domain. I'm not very good with the cosmic terminology that's used for describing ascension. I like cold hard facts. I need to know how I'm using it, why I'm using it. And even if it is a technology or a cosmic technology, I still need to have an idea of what I'm visualizing, because the more precise I am with my visualization, then I think the more powerful it is. And naming it and knowing that it's not just like, I'm just bringing in a green ray. I want to know what shade of green, where's it going, which part of my body, where's it coming from? That's super important as well. Where is it coming from? And is there a better version of it? Because I never accept what I'm given. I'm always asking for higher, better, bigger. So interestingly, with the Emerald Order, the most I can describe it as is when it was introduced to me as the med beds. When we were doing some work with the Rose Spiral, then we started weaving in the Emerald Order, which I was like, what's that? And seraphims were mentioned and things. So I'm going to let the girls answer this in a moment. But there was this concept of a med bed, which was placed up on a 5D grid above the earth. And it was a temple that we could go and heal overnight. And you could go up there, and I saw it because of my computing background. It's perfect for me. I saw it as a proper medical bed with an actuarian medical professional there, kind of twisting knobs, altering things, and helping my specifically nervous system calm down, because I have ME, which is a central nervous system issue. So that was kind of what I used mine for. And it was quite interesting how effective it was. And when I tried it with other people who were not so spiritual and not so cosmically aligned, they were also finding it worked and it had a benefit. So for me, that was proof of the pudding that this Emerald Order, whoever they were, at least the temple, I understood and I knew how to work with it. Well, something really interesting happened this week, and that what we kind of thought it was has kind of, again, evolved. Like anything, we've got to accept that things are going to be constantly evolving. They can't just drop the final version down on us. They want us to step into each version before they drop the next layer. And the way I would call it now is that that med bed has been expanded out of just one sort of bed room, I guess, into this whole nursery for new births, into this medical facility. And more importantly, is activated on Earth, thanks to Ava. She helped us bring the technology right down into the planet. And Alicia has got a lot more information to share on this, on how she sees all of this and explain it for you all. But it's an organic technology, which makes sense. We're trying to evolve the human body. We do not want that kind of cosmic aspect all the time. We now need both. And to have this medbed that is based on the planet from an organic point of view, and more importantly, it's there to help us transition to the new human. And it specializes in understanding us transmuters who are here at this time to lead the new Earth. So I was kind of excited. I remember when I connected in, telling them, this is me, this is my issues. These are all the issues I'm struggling from, giving them like almost like a medical health checklist, and then saying, yeah, okay, we'll go and work on that. We'll give you some solutions on how to make your body feel more comfortable while you're doing this work that you're doing. So I thought that was kind of super exciting for me. So I'm going to hand over to, is it Alicia's going first?
Yeah, sure. It doesn't matter. I just want to read a comment quickly from YouTube here. Love is saying, quite resonant. Things have been feeling like they are more confusing than they've ever been before, possibly ever. But definitely thinking about getting into the heart changes that feeling immediately. It's so true. And that's what I was going to ask everyone to, or invite everyone to step into their heart space at this time, because that's how I connect in with certain frequencies, such as the Emerald Order. It goes through my heart space. It goes through a feeling, even though I may not fully be able to bring that up into the mind area and give those explanations to someone like Trudy, and to actually explain what I'm feeling. I'm just going to share with you how I feel that the Emerald Order feels for me. So when Eva had initially saw this beautiful, I won't take away from your sharing, Mom, but when you had saw this beautiful being come in with this big, beautiful emerald crystalline piece, you can come right in whenever, if I'm saying it wrong, or,
No, go ahead, yeah.
The immediate feeling, or that word that I heard was, it's the Emerald Order. And what the Emerald Order feels like for me is, it's a feeling of like that high honor, very, very sacred, and part of that foundational collective to assist with that human process. And it's a feeling as though that they had these original instructions, these blueprints that hold very important or sacred codes, keys, frequencies, and wisdom, templates, codes, however you want to share that wording or that kind of visual or that feeling. And it comes from more of that divine masculine feeling, that oneness, that they're bringing in that balance of the yang energies to Mother Gaia and to the human collective here. And I see them as these beautiful guardians, yet they're the rehabilitators. And that kind of aligns with when, after we created that harmonization organic technology. And you can see them as these beautiful wisdom keepers and holding so much wisdom and knowledge inside. But I do feel that they were bringing in these beautiful emerald sun solar cones that will affect, or that does affect, our biology. So at that time it was affecting it, but not in a way. It was creating that confusion, it was creating that brain fog, it was creating other different things. But it's interesting, after this happened, after we've set that kind of organic technology, things became more harmonized within us. But it also relates to that kind of that message that someone shared, that announcement today that they were forecasting solar flares. So how interesting that it had to do with that solar coding with the emerald sun, and now these solar flares are coming in, and this organic technology will now be able to more harmonize those frequency waves coming in, because they are more of the pure emerald coding that's coming in now. Then there was, at that time, there was an emerald scroll that was sitting basically in the heart space. And I felt that was related to the emerald being that was speaking to me in light language. And it was, I felt that as though that they were giving me these sacred instructions or directions. And I did feel that in my heart as the light emanation was coming through, that it was that my heart was beating to this new rhythm. So it was my questioning of, is this aligned to that emerald heart architecture or template or codes? Or is this a new upgrade to our own heart chakra? Is our chakras now changing? And not the higher heart chakra, but the actual heart chakra. Is it going to be now more aligned with that emerald heart? And that's what they're bringing in now. And it was very interesting. After that soul journey, I quickly went on Ascension Glossary, and there was a sharing about one specific sentence I'd like to share because it did resonate, was the return of the Emerald Order, bringing on the next stage activation during the electrical peak cycle for reviving the emerald crystal heart in the earth, which totally resonates, as before that week, I was very electrical before running up until our soul journey, as when I would walk around the house, certain lights would flicker. At never before so much electricity. I've always had electrical issues with my stuff in the house, and that was a representation of my own electricity that was running through me. But this was getting so bold, or I would sit down for dinner and the lights would flash. I'd walk to the bathroom, the lights would flash. So that was just giving an interesting connection to the electrical peak cycle that she speaks about and she shares about. But now I'll hand it over to Mom here, or Eva.
No, that was great. Like I could feel all that emotion inside of there and whatnot. And that's exactly what it was, right? I mean, I remember
you had a huge reaction, didn't you?
Yeah.
I thought something major had happened. I thought I'd missed something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was definitely nothing I've ever experienced. Like truly, we toe dipped into the emerald med beds during our time in the rose spiral. And yet it was really, I felt that it was a very powerful healer of the physical body. Right. But when I came face to face with this person, and I think we were trying to figure out, the thing is that I never expected to come face to face with this person. And this person was like right there. And the huge emerald was in his forehead. And we came face to face, heart to heart, and I'll just call him the first commander of the Emerald Order because I don't know at this time really what to call him. But what happened was there was like really bolt of electrical beings, and it was directly connected to my heart space, and it opened up all these new sensations. Like I can barely breathe. Like I was like, like it was really directing. It was really going into my heart, and like I said, it was never anything I've ever experienced. And I went to Alicia, I can feel now. I know how to feel it. I don't just see now, I can actually feel now too. So I do feel that there's a legion of the Emerald Order. And my perception that when I was doing the weaving and whatnot is that they are generators and they're activators of sorts. So basically at the beginning of the journey, I saw a lot of landmines. I saw a lot of sinkholes, but I felt that this was the universal brain, the mass collection brain. And I was and this is where it was like, we have to be really discerning of where we're traveling, and even our brain is being reactivated, and different parts of our brains are being stimulated for us to grow into this new human that we need to be in order to receive the 5D, 7D consciousness within inside of us. So I just think, you know, there's a lot of new identities of higher consciousness coming in, and we got to really weave it in. And for me, it was weaving it into the heart brain. It was weaving it into the head brain and weaving it into the womb brain and just putting it all together, and then just really weaving it all together. And what happened, I saw these huge lighthouses with huge lights. And I feel like that's what we have become. As we journeyed together, the three of us, we became 3 huge lighthouses, and we're really going to share that, go in further. I feel like we need to go in further into the Emerald Order generator to really assemble and really become it and really bring out the vision for other people. So
yeah, that's brilliant. It was we only went in to find out why we were suffering from brain fog. That's what we started with. Like, what's the brain fog? What's going on? I think I woke up seeing volcanoes going off like party poppers, which was kind of like, okay, something's up. And then I had to call Ava and say, okay, you're the Earth one. What's going on? Why am I seeing earthquakes going off as party poppers? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was really quite interesting. This technology, organic technology, is now available for us to use. Mm-hmm. So just to give you a quick summarize, that we're moving into the new human is our soul lesson, that our strength is this Emerald New Order and this organic template technology that's now on the Earth, and the collective, the Emerald Order, that are going to help us help our bodies process the light in a more human-friendly way. And we just need to start communicating with them and connecting with them. And it is a feeling from the heart as opposed to the mind. And as we go through these identity shifts, we are going to have moments of feeling lost, don't know who we are. And you know, we know that's the dark night of the soul, but I think it's going to get a little bit worse. We're going to really feel like maybe we're a bit crazy at times, because it really is going to start shifting in quite degrees. But you know, we know as within, as without. You only have to look at the world right now and how our world is changing in quite a drastic way. You know, just this year AI has taken off, and we all now know what AI is. Last year maybe some of us knew, but this year we all know it. It's there all over social media. So that's kind of like, you know, a shift that's already changed our environment, changed our world, changed how we operate. So it's that kind of like keeping up with the changes that's going to be our main challenge. Watching our mind, working out ways to integrate the new particles, because I see this whole structure that Dave was speaking about, and Alicia, as almost like a lab. And in each of these different rooms, they have all these different particles that they can call on and mix together to create these sort of like genetic reactions. I wouldn't say mutation, but reactions in our body by giving us this DNA upgrades in our blood and our bones and all those sort of things. And that's now available for us to tap into. So I hope that was useful, guys. And yeah, share in your comments what your takeaway was and how useful knowing all this is. But as new Earth leaders, I hope you can now integrate this into the work you do, or at least if you're aware of it, because we've named it, then it should make it easier for you to now to recognize it, because once you've seen something, it cannot be unseen. So by us sharing this with you guys, it's for you now to start noticing if these energies are already starting to play a role in your work and what you're doing. And you don't have to be a healer for this stuff to be operating on you. You could just be a space holder. You could be a transmuter, but you might start resonating with what we're saying and start recognizing your role and stepping up into who you're meant to be. Because we're shifting away from soul purpose and soul mission, and you can sense into your heart how those words feel, but we're shifting into soul vision, and that has a freedom and expansion to it. If you sense into your heart with those words, you'll notice the feeling shifts a little, because this is us co-creating the new Earth. And just before I hand over to Ava to end, the card I had for February was, my unique and creative talents and abilities flow through me and are expressed in deeply satisfying ways. My creativity is always in demand. Our new Earth vision is our creativity and our unique frequency. It's not a job, it's not a role, it's not the thing. It's by you purely expressing through the heart who you are and your creativity. So I'll hand over to Ava.
Yes, Well, thank you for sharing your time with us. If there's anything that you would enjoy us to speak about, please put that into the chat. And those who signed up on the Zoom link can remain on. So we're going to do a quick meet and greet afterwards. And there are several ways that you could stay connected with us on our Facebook pages. And we have a Facebook community, Higher Consciousness Living, Stepping Boldly into the Unknown, our YouTube channels with Crystalline Ascension and with Trudy Marie Williams, and our Ascension Energy Forecast Mondays, and our Stardust Being Human series. And all the links will be in the description. So if you want any more guidance working with these things that we've covered, get in touch with us and we could discuss your challenges. And once again, we thank you so much for sharing your time and thoughts with us. And we send you off with gratitude and much love. Till next time.
And hopefully see you next time to give you an update on what's been happening with these frequencies and what new ones we found. So I'll just say goodbye and hopefully I can find the right buttons to do this properly.
Bye.
Bye, guys.